Alright, a very good morning to Doctor. My name is Tan Wei Ming, metric number 270969. Today, our group would like to discuss and explore the limitations or disadvantages of the activity-based costing system. Based on our study, there are some limitations that we couldn't be avoided when using the activity-based costing system. Alright, I will start with the first point, which is ABC or activity-based costing system are not compliant along with GAAP or generally accepted accounting principle in accounting. We need to understand that ABC is a management accounting tool that is used to understand and control costs and to support management decisions within a specific organizations. GAAP standards are used to report financial information to the external stakeholders in a way that is consistent over many different organizations. Yeah. So for the financial statement, we are forced to use the traditional costing system such as job order costing or process costing. So there will be a problem when we as a manufacturer, we need to use traditional costing system in financial statements such as income statement or balance sheets for external users. While at the same time, we have to prepare ABC system for internal decisions making. This will indirectly make the jobs more complicated. Okay. Although the ABC system is violating the GAAP compliance system, this does not imply that ABC systems are not useful, as it offers useful information for business management and decision makers in general throughout the organizations. But having to know the real similarities among the ABC system as well as GAAP compliance system may assist you to choose if the additional cost of maintaining two systems is advantageous for the company. Alright, so firstly, one of the major reasons that ABC is not compliant with GAAP is that ABC systems do not assign all manufacturing costs to products. As we know, organizations sustaining costs such as costs related to manufacturer protections, expenses that related to factory security, maintenance, and rent will be incurred regardless of the level of production in the traditional production costing system. But in ABC system, these costs are not assigned to the products. The consideration of the ABC system is that if a cost does not change based on what is going on with the manufacturing productions, then the cost isn't relevant to the decisions making. This makes sense from a managerial decisions making standpoint, but remember that this is exactly violating the GAAP. Secondly, under ABC systems, products are assigned some of the non-manufacturing costs that they can reasonably be supposed to have costs, even though this process is not allowed under GAAP. ABC principle dictate that all costs that are relevant to the product should be included in product costs. For example, if a custom product requires additional phone support staff to customer orders, then the cost of phone support staff should be included as a part of the product cost, even though this is not the manufacturing cost. Alright, so as a conclusion for my part, we can't use ABC in preparing financial statements like income statement or balance sheets, and also to calculate the cost of goods sold or ending inventories for the external users, as ABC is violating GAAP standards. But if the system is used for the internal purpose in decisions making, it is acceptable. So I will pass my turn to next presenter. Thank you.
Good morning, doctor. My name is Teo Jia Yi, metric number 279374. I will continue with the point of difficulty in identifying the most suitable cost driver and also difficult to evaluate cost on the basis of activity by using activity-based costing system. Let us start with the point of difficulty in identifying the most suitable cost driver first. First of all, we need to understand what is cost driver. Cost driver is the action that will influence the variable and indirect cost increase or decrease. Otherwise, it is also known as the activity that costs the entity money and produce the product. Cost drivers play an important role in activity-based costing, which is to allocate to the product in order to obtain an accurate cost of producing a good or service, and also to make the more accurate financial projector. For example, labor hours, machine hours, number of setup, labor costs are usually assigned as cost driver to overhead costs. However, to define a suitable cost driver in manufacture the company product is difficult in activity-based costing system. For example, if the entity is producing ice cream, plus the activity of buying the material is needed to proceed, then how we define the suitable cost driver to this activity if they have a multiple cost driver such as number of order placed or direct labor costs. To choose the cost driver that will provide the most ideal cost, which will affect on the company profitability and product cost, managers should determine the suitable cost driver one by one, and it will be difficult and wasting time if the entity is large. Besides that, before making any useful decision to be mean of activity-based costing data, manager also need to identify which costs are really relevant for decision at hand due to the benefit obtained from activity-based costing might not justify the cost. And the irrelevant cost driver that assigned to the product will cause over or under costing of the product, and it might fail to obtain an accurate cost. Next, limitation of activity-based costing is difficult to evaluate cost on the basis of activity. When the company found difficult to obtain the suitable cost driver which is assigned to the activity cost, it is also difficult for them to evaluate cost on the basis of activity. Activity-based costing data may easily be misinterpreted if the company make an inappropriate choice for both activity and cost driver. For example, if the entity wants to evaluate cost of activity, the manager needs to determine the suitable cost driver first and assign the activity with the same cost driver to form the activity cost pool. Then assign overhead cost to each activity cost pool. Next, manager use the overhead cost of each activity divided by cost driver in order to attain activity rate, so that it can use in obtaining the product cost by multiplying the activity rate with activity basics. This process to attain the product cost is complicated. If the manager uses the improper cost driver at the beginning, it will cause the wrong result performed in cost on basis of activity. Therefore, managers should be handled with care during this process in order to avoid the entity make the wrong decision by using the incorrect data. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nashizani binti Anwar, number matric 280449. I will continue to present about the limitation of activity-based cost system. One of the limitation is activity-based cost system is cost and time consuming. Activity-based costing system is expensive and time consuming because the analysis of business activities using this method will require the breaking down of individual components in each activity. Although activity-based costing method is giving users a clearer position on the cost, yet it's more expensive to put up compared to traditional costing. There are two types of costs that firm must pay to install the activity-based costing system, which is 1. The development cost, and 2nd, the operational cost. Development cost is the cost of the development of the system. Meanwhile, operational cost is the cost of running the system. The analysis of business activities will require the breaking down of individual components in each activity. However, the entire process should be able to utilize valuable resources in the collection, measurement, and entering of data into a new system. Likewise, this can require the assistance of consultants specializing in the setting up of the activity-based costing and can also provide training regarding its use. It is a time-consuming process and complicated because the method involves collection and preparation of data. It uses a large number of cost pools, and this means there are unnecessary expenses for the company, and there's a large number of departments that involved in the system, and this will increase the risk of data failure over time. It also requires several calculations for determining the cost of product. The installation of the activity-based costing system needs a staff training. The staff should be properly trained so that they can grasp the purpose of activity-based costing. For example, group discussion, training program, case study demonstration, and so on. This will help considerably to create awareness of the concept of activity-based costing to the employers. All of this training included in the cost to install the activity-based costing system because without training, the real purpose of activity-based costing system will not be achieved. Sometimes, another added expense may include the use of software for its implementation. But this can be essential in the automation of many aspects that use manual operation in implementing activity-based costing. These measurements are expensive and not every firm can afford it. Other than that, activity-based cost method is also not suitable for small manufacturing company. The level of technology and manufacturing environment prevailing in different firms also affect the application of activity-based costing. If management is not thinking to use activity-based costing information, an assumption costing system may be simpler to handle. Adaptability of activity-based costing system is not suitable for all kinds of companies because small companies have not many resources to adapt it and have too many activities but size of transaction is too low, and small company have a small overhead cost. Also, because of the cost to install the activity-based costing system is higher, so there will be a risk that the amount of money spent by the company will exceed the benefit of the system. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good day, doctor and everyone. My name is Song Kai Ta. My metric number is 279095. First of all, I'm agree with my friend that the activity-based costing system has many limitations. And I also got the same opinion with them. And I have do many research and read the article from the internet. This is the article that I retrieved from the internet. We can see clearly, according to the article from the audio margin, most of the company understand how big a job gallery need to do after the implement of the system. Because the activity-based costing system is more complex than other system because it use more statistic measure than the traditional system. In my opinion, limitations of the ABC system is not only not suitable for small company and also can be more complex to explain to the stakeholder of the costing exercise. The activity-based costing system is that has more complex compared to the traditional system. It's because the ABC system requires the management to estimate the cost of activity posts and to identify and measure the cost driver to serve as the cost allocation base. The ABC system also have numerous cost pools and various cost drivers in allocating the cost. Nextly, some basics of the cost allocation may be required at the cost pooling stage for the item like the rent, rest, and the building depreciation. It takes a lot of time in the process to do the explanation and helping the shareholder or the stakeholder in learning the cost allocation. Other than that, it's not easy to estimate the cost of the activity pools and to identify the cost driver as cost allocation base. Besides that, the process of the ABC system is more complicated because it requires a massive amount of the data. The collection of the data and the analysis of the data will be time-consuming and costly. Different departments are required to collect the data and prepare for the data. Where there is a large number of the departments involved in a system, the risk of the data failure will increase and will damage the entire process. The selection of the improper cost driver or the allocation base will lead to the misinterpretations of the activity-based costing data. Therefore, to select the most suitable pools in the cost driver, the management need to careful to identify the costs that are relevant and to the decision to be made. As a result, applying the ABC system may cause the explanation for the costing exercise to be complicated, especially to the shareholder or to the stakeholder, because it need to estimate the cost of the activity pools, which is require a lot of the data. The employee may resist the ABC system as they are used to the old system, which is less complex. In my view, ABC system has many limitations, and which I not recommend for the small company or the manufacturer to use. And also, this system will causing the process of the explanation to the shareholder or to the stakeholder to be complex. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Dini Nur Ifa binti Ibrahim, matrix number 278393. I want to explain or present about the limitation of activity-based costing system. One of the limitation activity-based costing system is lack of expertise. Lack of expertise include the lack of skills and knowledge, and also the lack of education and training. First of all I want to talk about the lack of skills and knowledge. As we know that activity-based costing system required an employee to have a specialized knowledge to be able implemented correctly and provide a good result to the company. This is because activity-based costing system is very useful in a decision-making framework for the economic analysis in service sector, particularly in the areas of planning, control and decision-making. But some of the employees do not know or pass the skill required to implement activity-based costing system. Second is I want to explain about the lack of education and training in activity-based costing system. Some of the company and also the employee have a knowledge about the activity-based costing system, and some of them already know about it, but they do not fully understand about the activity-based costing system and couldn't understand the main point of the activity-based costing system. Yes, it's true that some of the employees have been learned about the activity-based costing system, maybe from the books and other reading materials, or probably from the internet. But they have learned it rather than they have their own real experience or training about the activity-based costing system. Furthermore, the employee are required to have a systematic education such as training and education about the activity-based costing system, either than they make their own research about the activity-based costing system or read about it in the internet. Next is I want to talk about another limitation of the activity-based costing system. Data of the activity-based costing system can be easily misinterpreted. Also, one of the limitation of activity-based costing system. This is because reams of the additional data produced by an activity-based costing system can be easily misinterpreted. As we know that the activity-based costing system are one of the decision-making tools. So, the prior to the emergence of the activity-based costing system is the company. Company typically calculate the profitability using the allocation method. This allocation method involves the allocating cost to a product or customer using metrics, such as the total number at account. Activity-based costing data also can be easily misinterpreted and must be used with the care when we use it in the making a decision. So the cost assigned to product, customer and other cost objects are only potentially relevant. So before we make any significant decision using the data of activity-based costing, the management team must identify which costs are really relevant to the decision making, and of course all of the costs are being allocated. Furthermore, the allocated costs are not always relevant to make a decision, so we must have a solution about this problem. The solution is, of course, the extra care. The extra care must be taken when we using such data for any decision making purpose. If we being more concerned about this problem, the data of the activity-based costing system won't easily be misinterpreted.